Hello and welcome back to the sideboard here at SCG Baltimore. My name is Ruben Bressler and I'm joined by one CVM.
Hello, buddy. Pretty good about yourself.
Pretty good. Chris VanMeter, of course, versus video star, writer for Star City Games. Been on a bit of a tear recently.
I'm doing okay.
Including a pretty good couple of recent finishes with Blue White Red Delver.
Yeah, I played Blue White Red Delver last weekend in Columbus. It was a little snowy, unfortunately, yet again. But yeah, I was in top 8 contention until the later part of the tournament, and then had some unfortunate losses. But the deck felt very powerful, very strong, and I wrote about it the week before. I kind of wanted to branch out a little bit, get my legacy toes wetter than they already were.
Sure. Because of that success, you obviously stuck with Blue White Red Delver, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay. What are you playing today?
I'm playing VanMeter today.
It's the complete other end of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
So why did you decide to make the switch to Reanimator?
Well, I looked at the last couple of weeks on the Open Series, like the results from Legacy tournaments, and Reanimator actually got 2nd and 1st place in the last 2 Opens. And looking through the sideboards of most of the popular decks, they're not really prepared for it. And breaking down the deck itself, I feel that it's very well positioned right now. It's good against the true name decks that are popping up, either with Deathrite Shaman or without. They all have Stoneforge in this deck. But it's also good against the combo decks that are popping up to prey on the true name decks. So Sneak and Show, Omnitel, Storm, Elves, those types of decks. Reanimator is very good against all of that.
So explain that a little bit. Why is it good? First of all, why is it good against the true name decks?
It's good against the true name decks because it's faster than them, and Elish Norn beats the true name decks.
Sure. Elish Norn is the white target basically that you put into the bin if you don't want to
second white target.
Or sure.
Yeah.
And Iona also is able to shut off. Typically names blue.
Typically names blue, but against like Storm, you'll name black. Sure. Against Elves, obviously you'll name green. But that's the other half of it. So Gristlebrand is just always good against decks without Swords to Plowshares that aren't going to kill you right away. You're just going to go get a Gristlebrand. And sometimes you just have to deal with what you have, and Gristlebrand is never bad. But against, the combo decks, Iona just shuts all of them off. Even against Elves, they can't really beat an Elish Norn either.
Sure.
And then against the true name decks, it's very tough for them to beat Elish Norn or Gristlebrand if they don't happen to have a Swords to Plowshares.
So let's just go through the rest of the animation targets.
Yep.
Tidespout Tyrant.
Yes.
Is a card that's been in Reanimator decks for quite some time. It's pretty much the only non-legend you see. Is that the main reason to run it?
No.
To avoid Caracas and things like that?
That definitely helps.
Sure.
And its primary use is to fight Caracas. Not only does it allow you to keep a fatty in play when they have a Caracas, but you can also bounce the Caracas when you cast a spell to put more fatties into play. But it's also very good against troublesome permanents like not Grafted Griscage, but Ensnaring Bridge.
Okay,
so there's a lot of decks that will play Ensnaring Bridge in their main deck. You don't really want to have an Ashen Rider like in your main, because Tidespout Tyrant can also be pitched to Force of Will, which is relevant too.
There you go. So, do you have any other fatties that you try to reanimate, either the main deck or the sideboard?
Yes, there's an Ashen Rider and an Inkwell Leviathan in the sideboard.
Okay, and that's just to avoid Swords to Plowshares?
Yeah, Inkwell Leviathan will come in against the decks that have Swords to Plowshares, but to be completely honest, after playing a few rounds with the deck, I don't even need it. I'll just get a Gristlebrand, draw 7, they can reanimate, they can plow it, and then I'll just get another fatty.
Exactly.
So it definitely could just be like another utility spell.
Trading their plow for your draw 7 because you gain the 7 life back.
Yeah, it's like a reverse contract.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
So you're not afraid of the rest in pieces that have been popping up?
No, because the deck now also plays Show and Tell. So the card that's, a lot of people are clamoring to actually be banned in the format. I feel like it is one of, if not the most powerful card in Legacy, just based off raw power. The deck plays 2 in the main, and then 2 Show and Tell along with 2 City of Traders in the sideboard to be able to switch to more of a Show and Tell type deck against the decks that have Rest in Peace. In fact, I've played Blue White Red Delver twice already in the tournament. I've won both game 1s, and then game 2 I beat them after they had a Rest in Peace and a Grafted Griscage in play, just by Show and Tell against the brand and protecting it.
Awesome. That sounds great. Well, hopefully you do well in this tournament.
Hopefully.
And the rest of the season.
Yes.
Now, you're doing well this season, not in no small part because of some IQ finishes that you've had at the beginning of this year.
And you got to grind somehow.
Absolutely. But you're also grinding alongside some fellow Roanokeans.
Yes.
With Brad Nelson and BBD. Is there a little bit of a rivalry going there? Do you guys sort of be like, I got 6 points this week, you only got 4? Is there a little bit of that going?
Not yet, but I imagine once like we actually get into the race, as far as there's a possibility of one of us being that quarterly leader, then there will be. Like as of right now, everybody's just way behind the coattails of Huey, so there really isn't much of a race yet. But I imagine the next 2 quarters, you'll see the 3 of us maybe jabbing each other a little bit about it.
Sure.
But I do have a lot of room to pick up to try and close on him. So we're hoping Brad can not make the top 4 of this tournament.
Exactly right. He made the top 4.
He can make the top 8. I just want to get more points than him. That's
sure, exactly right. And another thing that's riding on the line of you having a good tournament finish, specifically a win, is your beard.
That is correct.
You have quite it's coming out. Yes. It's not just coming in, it's coming out.
It's flaring a little bit.
And you don't even look like you're token anymore.
No.
So for those folks at home that don't know, what's the bet that you've made with yourself?
Well, essentially, a few months back, I jokingly mentioned that I wasn't going to shave until I won another tournament.
Sure.
The wonderful staff on the SCG Live coverage caught wind of it and talked it up on camera. So it's become an It's become an actual thing since then. So I'm not going to shave until I win a I don't want to say a premier level tournament, but a major tournament like an Open or a Classic, maybe a PTQ, since I feel like those are pretty tough to win. But I won that Super IQ and decided that wasn't good enough, so we're gonna wait for something.
Saving it for an elite.
Yeah,
maybe
an elite.
All right, fair enough. Well, CVM, thank you for joining me in the sideboard. Good luck the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Chris VanMeter here at SCG Baltimore. Stay tuned all day for more coverage of the Legacy Open with Patrick and Matthias. Stay tuned.